Hey friend, so I know that you are trying to do all the things in your business. You are the CEO, you are the emailer, you are the social media content creator. You're doing all the things, but it still feels overwhelming. And then you're trying to use AI on top of it all, and it's just feeling messy. If that sounds like you, I want you to join me today. And in these short 15 minutes, I'm going to give you the strategies that you need to be able to batch your content like a boss. Let's go. Hi, I'm Angelina, and I often hear my clients saying things like, wow, I didn't know AI could do that. Or I thought I knew AI, but after working with you, there are so many things that I know how to do now. Okay, so tell me if this sounds familiar. You go to ChatGPT, you let it know that you want to do a social media post, and it shoots out a bunch of information, and it all sounds really great, but then you don't have a system to do anything with it afterwards. So what I'm proposing for you today is a 4-step system. Step number 1, we're going to train a robot. We're going to train ChatGPT so it has your voice, your brand, your style. Step number 2, we're going to build a boss blueprint. And what this means is we're going to create a guideline so that we know what kind of content, when we're creating it, and where it's getting posted. Step number 3 is we're going to batch the magic, and we're going to produce it so that we're not having to think every single day of what we're going to post online. And step 4 is we're going to automate the system so we can put it out there and it'll post as though we're doing it regularly. This is important because it makes it feel like you are everywhere. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, but in reality, we're creating like a boss. So let's get started. So step number 1 is train your robot. When you come to ChatGPT, you'll see this general screen, but over on the left-hand side, I have several of my trained custom GPTs. The one I use most often is called AI Coaching with Angelina. It's trained in my brand voice. It has my customers, like a general customer persona in there. It has all of the things that I want it to know about my business so that I don't have to repeat that every single time I come into chat. It gives me much better results because I've trained it properly. Now, we don't have time to get into how to train it today, but I just want you to know that this is one of the ways that will really help when you're creating content is if you program your robot. For step number 2, we're going to build our boss blueprint. So we're going to come up with content pillars that we can spread throughout the months so that I know exactly what I'm going to be focused on sharing with my audience. So in order to do that, I'm going to be in my custom GPT. If you don't have a custom GPT, you may just want to feed it a little bit of information about your business before starting. And then, this is a bonus tip, I like to read out what I'm going to say. So I'll use the Windows H key and you'll see that it's recording my content. I'm going to erase that. And I just want to tell chat now that I'm going to be brainstorming on social media content, and I want to be sure to come up with 12 to 15 ideas that reflect the key themes of my business. So I want to create content pillars that will help me over the year that will be tied to things like visibility, automation, client experience, and mindset for entrepreneurs. Can you help me come up with those categories? Sometimes it'll ask which response I like better and I can choose. And then what I'm going to do is from those concepts, and you'll see that it's using my brand voice guide, my marketing playbook, and other themes that I've mentioned, it's going to come up with those big content pillars. Now, what I'll do is go ahead and say that I like these better. I'll tell it that. And now what I'm going to do is ask it to build out 4 to 5 concepts underneath each of those. Okay, so now what I want you to do is build out 4 to 5 subtopics under each of those main categories. Okay, and what this is going to do is build an amazing content calendar for me that I can then use with the ideas and these bullet points. So what I would suggest at this point is once it builds this out is to copy and paste that over into a Google Doc so that you have this to reference for the whole year. Now, what I did is I actually copied it over into napkin.ai. It's a wonderful tool where you can put content and then create graphics. So for example, here is my May, what I'm going to be posting for my content. And my topic is going to be content creation with AI. And then I utilized some ideas that Chat had given me. And then you can create images that go along with that particular topic. And I just like this so that I have a nice clean printout of the ideas that I'm going to be posting for May. Then what I'm going to do is go over to Canva and I'm going to use my social media planning template, and I'm going to share this with you, so you're welcome to use it at any time. And I'm going to make a copy, and you'll notice that there's 4 different tabs down here at the bottom. So there's week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. So this will now be my content calendar for the month of May. And then what I'm going to do is for each week, I'm going to add the content right here. So for example, in the first week, the topic that I'm going to be focused on is creating a content repository with AI. So I'll just add that here. Then in the second week, I'm going to talk about my blog creation process and what that looks like. And I'll put that there. So this will just remind me of those big topics that I'm going to focus on for the week. I also make some little notes about other groups and different pages that I want to post to, so that I remember to go and do that. So you could repeat that process for each of the rest of the weeks. Now that it's all mapped out, I'm ready to start doing some magic. Step number 3 is we're actually going to start batching the magic. Why this is important is that we're able to have our weekly content mapped out, and now we're going to create it, but we're going to do it in a smart way. We're going to create our content, then our images, and then we're going to automate it. Let's take a look at how that's done. So if you remember, my topic for week 1 in May is going to be about creating a content repository with Notebook LM. So now I'm going to go to ChatGPT in my custom GPT, and I'm going to give it some instructions. I'm working on my social media content for May, and the topic that I'm focused on is creating a content repository with Notebook LM. I'd like you to come up with 5 different ways or things that I can discuss related to that topic. Now, this is going to come up with some really great ideas, and here's 5 juicy content angles that I can take. And so then I'm not just going to copy and paste these. What I'm going to do next is use a prompt, and I will give you all of these prompts in the freebie so you can be sure to access them. So I love that. These are amazing ideas. So now what I'm going to do is I copied and pasted a prompt, and basically I'm telling Chat now to act as a content creator for personal brand marketing, create 7 Facebook posts, 1 for each day, designed to build trust, demonstrate expertise, and drive leads. And there's some different formats. And absolutely, here's a 7-day Facebook content plan. So these are some different ways that I can frame the topic. And so I'm going to show you, it's going to give me these beautiful ideas, but I'm just going to show you what I would now do with this, because again, we don't want the stuff to get stuck here on Chat. We want to put it on our calendar so we know what we're doing. So I will just copy and paste this first idea, and I'll put it over here in my week for the copy. Okay. Now we can adjust these. This is a new feature in Canva, in case you haven't played with it yet. It's Canva Sheets. It's incredible. That's how I created this template. Then we have before and after transformation. You get the idea. So there's all different ways that it's giving me to create this content. Now, I'm obviously going to go in and edit these before I post them, but this gets me started. And then what I'm able to do is there's a drop down, so you can select the channel that you want to post it on. What type of campaign is it? What content pillar does it fall under? And then put the date. And then you can also insert your images here. We, again, don't have time to get to all of that and how to do it, but that's definitely something that's super helpful. Hack number 2 is to batch all of your visuals at once. So what I did is I said, help me generate image prompts for these ideas, the social media posts that we had put in. And here are the image prompt idea is tailored to those 7 Facebook posts. So it has the prompt right here. So now what I can do is take this. It knows my brand colors. So I'll copy because again, that's my custom GPT. So now I'll just copy and paste and I'll say create this image. So this is just one of the images. I may not love this, but it gets an idea and it gets me thinking about some ideas of what I could create. I also can use Canva AI or I can use MidJourney to create images. For now, I'm just going to use this one, so I'll download it. And then I'm going to come over here again to my same Canvas sheet that I'm using, and I'm going to add a page. And what's super cool about this is now you can house all of your social media right here. So I could put my Instagram post here, and we'll grab that image. And maybe I want to just use this part of it. So now what I would do is this would be the image that I would use for Instagram. Then I could duplicate the page or resize it here and have it be a Facebook ad. And then maybe I want to use this image on my blog as well. So I can resize it and create a custom size for my blog. And that way, all those images that I'm going to use are right there. So I don't have to constantly be going in and out of different files. And then the last step that I'm going to do is go to either Facebook Meta Suite, or I could use HighLevel and use my social media planner and bulk load all of it so that it's ready to go and posted. Okay, so if you're thinking, holy cow, that is a lot of information in a short amount of time, you're right. But once you get your systems in place and you have a routine, I promise that this is going to feel so much better. Look at what we were just able to accomplish in a short 15 minutes. I showed you how to train your robot, build your content blueprint, build with intention, and then finally automating it like a pro. So you're not just creating content constantly, you're reclaiming your time and having an organized system. If that felt like a lot, totally understand. I have a freebie that you can grab that outlines every step and shows you how to do it. And I also have a free Facebook group that you can join to get all kinds of AI tips and tools. And then finally, if you'd like to create your own robot and program your custom GPT, I have a class for that as well. So just remember, I've got you. I also do one-on-one coaching if you'd like to learn how to take AI to the next level. Thanks for watching.